Good morning, and thank you for joining Solita's How to Use AI in Business crash course. All of our previous crash courses regarding AI have received a lot of interest. We have had those about AI solution design and development, about AI solutions on edge devices, about Gen AI assisted software development, etc. This interest is one of the reasons we decided to continue sharing our experiences about AI and its successful utilization in organizations. But this time our focus is on a more holistic level, especially on how to really enable AI usage in business contexts so that it drives measurable impact, and on how to successfully lead a bigger AI transformations in organizations. We will be using case stories from forerunning organizations like NATO, ISS, and many others to highlight some successful approaches these organizations have taken. We feel that this topic is growingly important as so many organizations have been and are increasing their investments in AI. My name is Mikael Ruohonen. I'll be your host today. I've been leading Solita's data science, AI, and analytics business for the past 5 years. Before I have been working in multiple different consulting firms on analytics and AI space, and also in data and AI leadership positions on retail sector. But in my current role, with active dialogue with many of our customers and prospects, I've had the privilege to see widely how AI solutions are transforming different organizations across Nordics. And I'm today here to share you a few key insights from these AI transformation programs from these forerunner companies. And together with me on the stage, I will be having Minna Kärhä and Veli-Matti Uski. Minna is Human-Centric AI business designer who uses design thinking and data to solve all kinds of business problems. She has 25 years of experience from the intersection of business and data, and she has been building and leading teams, developing and transforming ways of working, and also building business-driven, actionable data and AI roadmaps. Minna also leads our AI-related business design business at Solita. And in addition, we have Veli-Matti. Veli-Matti is one of our experienced AI business designers, and his daily job is to help our selected customers in identifying data and AI opportunities, analyzing our customers' current capabilities and maturity, and crafting actionable roadmaps. But before we go there, a few words about Solita. Solita is a technology, data, AI, and design company dedicated to help our customers with digital transformation, which nowadays is heavily includes AI and AI solution technology utilization. We help our customers both with strategy, design, and human insight. We help them with AI analytics solution design and development, with software development, integrations, managed cloud services, etc. We have been established in 1996, and currently we are having a community of over 2,200 professionals. Then on the markets we operate. Solita operates in 10 countries: Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Estonia, Belgium, Poland, Switzerland, Germany, and UK. Then, before going to the actual case examples of those forerunning companies and learnings from them, a few words about what is currently happening in the Nordics organizations regarding AI. Really many organizations have started an AI transformation program during the past 24 months, if they didn't have such already earlier. And the big reason so many organizations have started this type of initiatives is the phenomenon around generative AI and large language models. and the expectations and opportunities related to them. But the positive thing is that all these, or most of these organizations are also considering the wider digitalization and AI usage. So not only focusing to large language models, but also machine learning, computer vision, optimization solutions, and so forth. But we are clearly starting to live in the era of AI transformation programs. And as we have one of the biggest AI and data professional services communities, we have really large coverage to Nordic organizations. And myself and my colleagues have been discussing with hundreds of bigger organizations in Nordics in past years or past months. And we can summarize, for example, from Finland, that all the top 10 companies have an active and holistic AI program as we speak. And over 70% of the top 10 to 30 companies also have initiated some kind of an AI program. And when we go to a bit smaller organizations, top 30 to 100 company lists, most of them have some kind of AI initiatives, AI projects ongoing, and even tens of these companies as well have at least some kind of a first steps towards program level thinking on AI transformation. But that being said, organizations are or have had very varying degree of success. They are both big successes and some failures, and they are also in very different phases in this journey or in this AI transformation. Some are focusing still mainly on building understanding, planning, identifying the use cases, needed technologies, skill set, and so forth. Some are in the early phases of testing, piloting, experimenting different use cases in practice, and then selected few, I would say, are in large-scale production mode, so productionizing AI and integrating with existing digital solutions and processes. And when we look those transformation programs out there, we can summarize or put in place like this kind of a key common characteristics, what the best of those transformation programs focus on. Firstly, they always consider all the different available technical approaches when it comes to AI utilizations. There are the standalone AI tools, but there is also the inbuilt AI capabilities of different business software, ERPs, CRMs, and so forth. And then there is the custom AI space, where companies invest in developing more tailored AI solutions to their IT ecosystem and to more complex use cases. And in addition, they focus also into the different forms of AI utilization. There's the individuals and the efficiency gain individuals can have. But there's also the organizational level capabilities and efficiency gains to be received or achieved through AI utilization. So that means business processes, services, products the company organization has, and how AI can enhance those. And thirdly, those transformation programs consider the different ways to create impact with AI utilization. There's heavy focus on improving efficiency at the moment, so taking existing ways of working and thinking how we can automate certain parts of that or enhance those processes. But there's the other side of the coin, how to build new services, new products, totally new ways of working. So the best AI transformation programs consider these both aspects. And lastly, they also focus holistically to the where we can create the biggest impact with AI. So across the functions, across the units, businesses, not only focusing to back office, for example, use cases which are a bit safer in a way, but also considering what can we achieve in core capabilities, core processes in the front office, processes, functions, and also in the products and services the organization provides to its customers. And then in a bit more higher level, if we summarize our experience from these AI transformation programs, it's safe to say that the forerunner companies also stay ahead by applying few key approaches. One of them is that they have established clear AI transformation roadmap with realistic high-impact transformation projects and use cases. In addition, they have strong focus on projects that are derived directly from key business targets of the company or the organization. And thirdly, they also have established central team to centrally lead the AI transformation and centrally support the key projects, the flagship projects, so that things really start to happen. And lastly, they have also at least started to invest on the AI platform capabilities, which in the midterm and a longer term enable faster transformation, create synergies over projects and AI solutions, and enable larger scale scaling, for example, in global context. But now, let's start to go towards the forerunning case examples and a few selected angles, which we will explain next. Welcome to the stage, Minna and Veli-Matti.
Thank you, Mikael. And thanks for opening this session. Now let's move into more details, deeper into the topic. And let's start by explaining what makes the organization struggle. As we have been talking to these hundreds of organizations, clients and prospects, we have identified some repeating patterns related to whether the company really succeeds with their AI initiatives or whether they are struggling to get real value from that. So what are those elements that set apart the success and failure in AI initiatives? First of all, we see that there might be lack of vision. If the company doesn't really have a crystal clear vision what they want to achieve from the business perspective with AI, what should the business look like in the upcoming years when the AI is implemented? What's the actual value and the change that it's driving? Then this will likely lead into the situation that there are maybe a lot of investments done, a lot of work ongoing across in different parts of the organization, testing, trying out, or even implementing AI. But when the common vision is missing, it results in the situation that if the CEO asks that what is the real value, where are we in terms of AI utilization as a company, then no one can really answer that question because there's not a clear shared vision where to sort of move the company with AI. Secondly, also very common pattern for those that are not very successful is the unrealistic expectations. So this might become visible in a way that the chief commercial officer or somebody from the leadership team sort of expects that we need to invest in AI. We need to bring AI to our business processes to make them more efficient, to get better revenue. But then they are not really sort of ready to invest the needed time and money on that. And they kind of expect that because AI is anyway already used in so many companies that it can't be that difficult. So there's a lot of solutions already used in other companies. So let's just take AI here, and then our supply chain becomes more efficient. So they don't really understand what are the different elements that you need, the capabilities that need to be there in order to get the long-lasting, robust value from AI. And they also don't really understand what AI can do and what it cannot do. Then Vel.
Thanks, Minna.
So the next pitfall that we have noticed is data and technology issues. So it might be that you heard a lot that your data is not good enough, the quality is bad, this kind of situation. It might be that all of your data is in Excels and different people are using Excels here and there, and then you have one data scientist who is using their own laptop to run models and these kind of things. And of course it's quite easy to understand that with this kind of setup you cannot go that far. You really need to put an investment as well on capabilities on technology and data side, and try to improve the data quality, bring them together and get the right tools in order to go forward and successful trip on with AI. The next pitfall that we have encountered is the gap between business and technology. So it is quite often as well that there is these two sides, IT and business side, that is talking totally different language. It might be that business wants just AI, bring me to AI and do the magic. And on the other side, the IT is thinking that, hey, we need data, we need technology, we need tools, we need to understand this. And on the other side, the IT might talk as well in totally different language. They might have data scientists, they might have data engineers, and they just build different kind of AI models. And then the business side is just thinking that, hey, this wasn't what we needed, that this isn't the right thing to do. So there is this kind of gap of communication, collaboration between IT and business. Then back to Minna.
Good. Then we have also seen this proof of concept trap, and how this is visible is that there might be again a lot of investments and excitements on testing, trying out different AI models and AI tools, but again with the lack of together with the lack of vision, you end up just testing randomly different use cases and don't really have the courage to implement anything. So just focusing on technology, maybe not being sure whether it's good enough, maybe trying to get 100% accuracy from your AI, and I'm not really understanding again that when is it ready, when do we have the confidence to actually take it into production. So doing a lot of POCs and experiments, but then nothing is production ready eventually. And then lack of human insights. In most cases, although AI is also used for automation, in most cases we see there's still the human in the loop, meaning that there are people who work in their daily tasks, processes, and there the AI is part of that solution that they are using. It's used for decision support, but the human needs to make the decision. Now, if the human insight is totally ignored when designing this kind of solutions, it means that most likely the people who should be using those solutions don't trust them. They don't maybe even understand how should they use them, which then leads to the situation that they don't really use those new AI tools, but rather continue the way they have been doing their work in the past. And there's also the challenge that maybe the tool is not really helping with the right task. It's just making the humans' work more complicated or complex if the human insight is not from the day one, from the start when designing these AI solutions.
Yeah. And then in addition to lack of human insights, so not only understand how the people are using the AI solution, you need to understand as well how this AI solutions create really value? What is the monetized value of these solutions? So, in the other hand, you need to think about the revenue models. What do you want to do? What added value it is creating? For example, we have seen that many companies are creating this kind of monitoring tool that customers can view their own data, but then actually the customers are saying that this is nice thing, but this is not creating that much value that we would like to pay a lot of this. So it is quite crucial in this point as well to think about, like, can we really monetize? Does this create value? Are there return of investments in these cases? Then, if you have overcome all of these pitfalls previously, the final one is usually the neglected AI. So it is quite often that people think that, well, we buy an AI solution and then we start using that only. But that's not full story. You actually need to take care of the AI as well. You need to monitor that, and you need to update and adapt any AI models that you have. Usually the environment around the AI is changing, and as well the models need to change. You can think about, for example, that if you have a demand forecasting, you are forecasting the demand of your products, and then your competitor is bringing to the market totally new product. So it means that, of course, your demand is changing, and as well your AI model needs to understand that what happened. You need to update the model. But these were the common pitfalls that we have noticed that companies with AI transformation came across quite often. And of course, you should be able to overcome all of these. And what we are going to talk today is how to overcome 3 of those pitfalls. So unrealistic expectation, gap between business and technology, and finally the proof of concept traps. So what are those, what kind of cases there is, and how to actually overcome with those. For that, we are going to use this kind of framework that we have developed and tested many times. So cornerstones of AI transformations. We have noticed that quite often when people start to talk about AI, they start to think about data, they start to think about technology and the algorithms itself. They think that if only they have the data, if only they have the right tools, then they master with this AI transformation. But that's not even half of the story. In order to master the AI transformation, you need all of these blocks on your organization. You need the right skills. You need the data science skills. You need the service design skills. All these kind of different skills bring together. You might need to change your ways of working. You need to understand how you operate. You need to understand as well the culture. Is that culture something that AI fits well, or do you need to think about some other solutions? Of course, the organization structure, is it siloed? Is it something else? How to adapt on that environment? What do you need to do in order to change the organization itself? Leadership is really important. You need to understand, is there a leadership commitment? Is your leadership understanding what we are doing with the AI and data? And is there enough investments on those? And finally, the most important thing is the vision and objectives. You really need to have direction where you want to go. The vision, this is where we want to go. And as well the objectives. This is the things that we want to reach in the story. So next, we are going to jump on the 3 pitfalls, and we are going to use this lens in order to understand how to overcome the issues. So, back to Minna.
Thank you. So let's start with how to avoid the unrealistic expectations. Just to highlight why is AI now in the discussions, also in the rooms where there are not traditional AI experts. So what I've seen in the past years, 2 years or so, AI has become the main or one of the main discussion topics for all the leaderships, all the organizations, or everybody in the organization. And the reason is basically being the speed of technical developments, and also how the large language models, so generative AI, has been developing in very high speed in the few years. So there's now a lot of tools that are accessible and really easy to take into use, even for those people who don't know how to code, who are not really data science experts anymore. Machine learning has been used, and the traditional AI has been used for over several years, and it's still gradually increasing. But in the recent couple of years, especially the generative AI, large language models based tools have really raised. So that's why everybody has now at least the sense of urgency, and like Mikael said in the beginning, also many companies have their AI programs established. And another point from Gartner, the IT research company, is that it's not obviously just that what you can do with AI and how AI is able to transform your business, and also how it will anyway transfer your business environment and your ecosystem, and how competitors also work. It's also creating costs. And if you are not on top of managing these costs, then this will be, of course, very unpleasant surprise at some point. So AI costs will of course come from the investments, but there will also be running costs. And if you are not in control of those running costs, if you have not decided how much it's worth to pay for AI from the business value perspective, then that will be a real challenge in the future. So one common practical challenge that we have seen in companies that are not very successful, or haven't been not very successful with AI, is that the top management really outsources the responsibility to IT, even though they sort of understand and feel accountable from the perspective that they flag and drive the need for investing in AI, then they outsource the responsibility to actually do that work and also manage the running costs to IT only. And they don't really understand what kind of investments, what kind of capabilities in the bigger picture need to be developed, the ones that Veli-Matti explained from the puzzle picture. So it's really not just the things that are on IT's table. IT can only lead the bottom of the puzzle. So they can lead maybe the data storage, the data governance initiatives from the technical point of view, technology choices, and typically they also have experience and understanding of the algorithms and AI tools, but they are not really able to lead alone the other puzzle pieces. So what do the forerunners do? What do the ones do that actually succeed in this? They really make sure that their top management understands AI in the level that they can lead the strategy and the investments. They can have a proper dialogue with IT, and together the whole management team can lead these initiatives. Obviously, top management doesn't need to know exactly how to code. They don't need to be data scientists, but they need to understand what is realistic, what are the opportunities, and also what needs to be developed, and what kind of capabilities need to be invested in to be able to get long-term value from AI. And how we have been working with actually several of our customers, we have helped them to train their leadership teams on AI. The initial situation is actually quite similar to all of those organizations that we have been working with. There's a couple of examples here, but usually the organization or at least some part of the organization. It might be the IT, it might be the data science team or analytics team. Somebody who is a bit more advanced and aware of this phenomenon of AI has identified that AI will have a significant impact on the business and ecosystem and domain, and then the sufficient knowledge or the level of knowledge is not sufficient yet to actually lead those discussions, lead those developments and investments. So understanding there are opportunities, understanding there are also related risks, and some capabilities need to be developed, but how to lead in the era of AI is really pivotal for all present-day leaders. And especially in the traditional domains where there haven't necessarily been very big changes in the past, this is something where actually a lot of opportunities and also impact from the changing environment is going to affect the business. So what we have together with our customers done, we have formed a AI masterclass for leadership teams. The way we have been doing this is actually together with our customers, a couple of public references, NATO and DNA. And for both of these, we have started with first training session or a couple of days with one team, and we have actively gathered feedback from the participants, and then modified and sort of enhanced the masterclass concept to really fit that customer's situation and their business domain, and make it really relevant and right fit for their need. No general knowledge, but really what does AI mean in their business context, and not only educating or sort of teaching, but also allowing the leaders all the way also themselves think and apply the learnings through real use cases and sort of guiding them through that. So the forerunner habit in this case is that they are building and nurturing awareness, and then they're spreading the AI understanding across the leadership teams, but not stopping there. Also the leadership's teams, leaders' teams themselves, so kind of gradually spreading the knowledge across the organizations throughout the decision makers. And considering the basic understanding of AI is general knowledge that everybody needs to have. And what we often hear is that participants have been really happy that this sort of format provides clarity to this rather complex and formally unknown topic, and they are really feeling that also their colleagues and their teams should obtain this same knowledge, which has shown that we have been also repeating the trainings in the organizations where we have started the programs. Then next challenge we see a lot is that organizations are buying, for example, ChatGPT or other tool licenses for everyone. So they are announcing that, hey, now we have licenses for everyone to use the tools, and maybe even some trainings in the intranet or e-learning platforms, so that they sort of allow everyone to use and try out the new tools. And then they think that, okay, so now we are using AI because everybody has the opportunity to use it as we have these licenses available. So in this case, we most likely are covering from the puzzle the leadership. So leadership is interested enough so that they want to invest in licenses and sort of get their people across the organizations to try and use the new tools, so supporting that. There might be a high-level vision that, hey, we want actually everybody to be able to get value from these new tools, and it's important that we start reshaping or shaping how we work by implementing these new tools and technology and AI. But it's still missing many of the other puzzle pieces. So what the forerunners do, they obviously ensure upskilling, making sure that people also know how to use these tools, but also not forgetting the continuous support and then thinking about the new ways of working. So it's not efficient if everybody does trial and error and sort of learns by themselves, but it's really important to focus on solving, again, the most valuable business problems, using the tools for those, and not just trying out a lot of things, whatever comes to in individuals' minds. So having a clearly defined and aligned goals with identifying what's important from the business processes perspective. Here we have 3 different examples, all kind of focusing on the same thing, but a bit different approaches. So with Kela, what we have done and what they have done, they have built the understanding on AI and then sort of capturing the AI opportunities, so that their strategy unit, when they were building their reshaping their strategy, actually started from identifying what are the opportunities we could utilize AI for, but also what is the impact of AI for such an organization like Kela. What is the social impact if they are using or when they are using AI, and what is the individual impact, and what would be the most important opportunities that they should address from the strategy point of view, looking holistically, not only what makes their work efficient, but also what is the impact on their customers and the society in larger scale. Then with ISS, this was very interesting experiment that gained a lot of valuable learnings. Here the approach was to really design together new way of working, bringing multidisciplinary team, like Veli-Matti was explaining earlier. AI requires very different perspectives to come together and sort of solve those problems together. In this case, we brought a multidisciplinary team representing business and IT, different functions, working together, learning together how to use the generative AI tools to identify the business problems to be solved, and then how to find ways to solve those. So it was really both learning the tool, but mostly how to work in this very new setup and sort of get value from that. And then us, Solita. Obviously, we consult our customers, but that's not all we do. It's very important for us also to understand that AI is changing how we work, and also what customers expect from us. So what we have done, we have taken the centralized approach. We have invested in building a central Gen AI team that is focusing on making the first experiments and investigations, and then spreading their learnings to rest of the organization, bringing AI tools and literacy enablement, so trainings and other things that we can benefit from. But we have also identified the most important parts in our business processes, how to enhance and build efficiency through AI-based automation. For example, for us, it has been the sales process related things that we are using AI now. And then also the third thing, rethinking our professional services and technology project delivery. So what do we do for customers? How do our customers benefit from AI? What should be our offering and approach there? So, for example, this ISS case is one of those examples where we have, together with the customer, reshaped new ways of helping our customers. So, summary. first of all, equip leaders to drive AI so that they have enough clarity and they understand what sufficient resources mean. And then involve the teams to learn and find the most valuable opportunities together. This is really a shared exercise, and bringing people together and learn together is really where the value lies. And then helping hands-on learning and experimentation, not leaving people alone, but rather learning and supporting each other. And next we will talk about how to bridge the business and technology gap. Veli-Matti.
Thank you, Minna. So, the next pitfall will be discussing about the gap between business and technology. And what we have noticed quite often, that there might be a corporate strategy and then some practical AI development. But quite often these two sides talk totally different language. For example, there's reported that 84% of companies think that AI will have significant impact on their business. But on the other hand, only 24% of executives report that their companies are created for data-driven organization. So only 24% thinks that they are ready for this kind of AI transformation. So basically this issue have two sides of the coins, business side and analytics side. And if we start from the first challenge, it is the IT side. So we have noticed that quite often IT builds this kind of generic AI tools without involving the business itself. So they might build a system that business is not needing. And of course, if there is no real need for the tool, there is no adoption. Business are not using tools that they don't want or they don't need. This is quite a hard challenge, and it requires thinking that how to build actually tools, AI tools that would need it. And basically what the forerunners are then doing. So of course forerunners co-design these AI capabilities with business stakeholders. They involve business on thinking that how these tools support in business core processes. What are the real use cases of business that require AI, require solving? What are the problems that require solving? And only after that, when you understand really the business sides, what you're trying to solve, then you start thinking about how do you solve that? What tools you need to use. One of our companies or one of our customers, quite big international manufacturing company, they had the problem that IT had built a centralized data platform and as well data catalog, and just expecting that, okay, every company have data platforms, data catalog, so we need to have as well. So let's build it, and they built it, and they expected that, okay, now business should start using them. But actually, the adoption remained quite low in the company. What the business actually needed, they would have needed these kind of real-time data capabilities. Their use cases was like predictive maintenance, operational analytics, different kind of things. But actually the IT was building a data platform which was thought to be used only on non-real-time reporting, once a day, once a month reporting. And as well, the data catalog was built from technical perspective. Overly complex, a lot of different kind of metadata that the business didn't even understand. And of course, they couldn't use that at all. So the both data platform, data catalog remained quite a lot of unused, and the business was not happy that IT is not providing anything for them. So the actual key insight, so the actual root problem was not the lack of tools. It was the lack of understanding. The IT was building the tools thinking what business needs and did not actually build that based on actual requirements and used. So how we helped them? We helped them to build a data strategy, which were built together with IT and business. They involved different peoples, different leaders on business sides as well on IT side to understand that we have real use cases, real needs for business side. We create real value, and on the other hand, we understand what is our current maturity in the company, what are current capabilities from technical side, and what we need to build. And with this data strategy, we understood that where we want to go, what do we want to build, what do we need to build, and when. And this really helped the customer to understand how we need to go forward and build the things that business really wants and needs. That was the first side of the coin. The second side is the business side. So we have noticed that as well from business side, there is a tendency that they treat every problem as tool problem. They complaining that, well, this would be perfect if we just have better tools. We would make so much more revenue if we have better tools. We have tool issue. And actually, what they are skipping is understanding their own process. That is there some problems with our own process? Is there ownership of that process and how we need to change? And is there a real goals, how we want to change? So it should not be just a tool problem. And it is not a tool problem. It is process problem quite often. And how does the forerunners tackle these kind of issues? Of course, forerunners are prone for redesigning their business processes in order to integrate the AI use cases. They are not just expecting that AI will save them. They understand that they need to change their ways of working. They need to understand that they might need to change their processes in order to utilize the AI better. And then, of course, the AI capabilities are built around these changed processes. Quite interesting customer story as well. We had another international manufacturing company, and there were a business need. So business asked that, hey, we need AI. We need AI for demand forecasting. We want some algorithm that tells where our demand is going and how it's changing. And they think that, okay, IT just provide us an algorithm and that solves our problem. Even they didn't understand what was the real problem. Actually, what was underlining there was that actually their salespeople lack access on inventory data. And orders were coming to emails, data wasn't available at all. So of course, any analysis could not be done. So the actual blocker was not the fancy AI algorithm. The actual problem was the broken process and data flows. Data was not in the place. So how to fix this? So to make AI work, the company needs to first think about their processes and redesign those. As well in this case, they started to rethinking that how they need to develop those sales processes in order to enable this, to bring the data in the same place. So basically in this case, what was not done was the demand forecast. Actually, it didn't start there. It started from understanding how to fix process, what technological parts needs there, and how to get the data in the right place. And actually that already started to fix the actual problem, not bringing the AI in place. So if we look at this from the data puzzle perspective, you might have excellent data and technology in place. You might even have the AI algorithms in there. You could have data science skills and maybe the leadership commitment. But if your organization is really siloed, you are not collaborating, you are not communicating, and your ways of working is not able to take into use the AI, then of course you're prone to fail. So again, you need to think about this holistically. You need different parts of the puzzles in order to succeed in AI transformation. The organization side, the ways of working as well. So, to build the bridge, you need to build it from both sides. The business needs to take involvement, they need to take ownership, they need to understand, they need to change their ways of working and their processes in order to make this working. And on the other hand, the IT side, the analytics side, cannot just expect that they can guess the business needs and build on their silos on whatever tools, fancy tools they want. They need to take the step towards the business and ask, what are the real problems that we are solving? How we solve that? And the technology and the AI is just an enabler to solve the problem. Problem needs to come from the business side. As a recap, few things to remember. One, the AI solution needs to be rooted on clearly defined business needs. It cannot be isolated. The business needs to take ownership of the problem and not just expect the IT to deliver that. There might be alignment of process design, so you need probably change somehow if you really want to utilize the AI. And finally, this is joint effort. The business cannot do this alone, nor IT cannot do this alone. The communication between these two parties are the key to success in AI transformation. Then, next Minna is continue with the POC trap.
Thank you, Veli-Matti. Yes, so far I think the two common themes that have been carrying through the narrative or the message has been that you need to know where to focus. Focus on doing the right things. Focus on having the right vision that really creates value, and then collaboration, bringing people together, work together more. So let's next look at the third bottleneck that we identified. So how to escape the proof of concept trap. As said, there are endless opportunities to utilize AI. Companies use it for growing their sales or increasing resource efficiency, improving customer value, and even for transforming their offering, bringing new products or services on the market and maybe even disrupting the market with the help of AI. So there's a lot of things you can do, from customer segmentation to decision support to predictive maintenance, and there's a lot of things for every domain and every industry. The thing is that if your main focus is in the excitement to just try different things out to see how would this help us, how would this be interesting for us, how could we use AI for different cases, then you have a high risk in ending up in this POC trap. So very typically these proof of concepts in AI focus on testing if the technology works, testing either off-the-shelf solutions or maybe building your own machine learning models or testing large language models in your own context and sort of learning whether they work or not or what could be done with them. And that's very natural also, thinking that it's still a new thing for most of organizations to really bring AI to the workflows and on people's desktops. So it's not something that's already there and we are just replacing it with enhanced technology. It's a new way, new opportunities to do the work differently. So of course it requires understanding and experimenting. But the challenge is that also what you lead, if your measurement for successful is the number of AI proof of concept, if that's what your leadership team sort of wants to see, that how many proof of concepts did we in this business area during the past year or past quarter, then you are actually leading the number rather than the actual value to be gained. And especially to considering that is it more that you really want to just automate as many things as possible, or is it like Veli-Matti also said in his examples, is it that you actually want to redesign the whole process to make the right things, not just making wrong things faster is not really where you get the value, but rather thinking about the opportunity that how can you redesign your processes with AI to make the right things and gain value from that. So what forerunners do, they experiment, of course, they run experiments, but they have the clear end goal, and also the bigger vision in mind. So the bigger vision might be in 2 to 5 years time, and then they have shorter term goals, for example, objectives and key results as a tool there. So something that we know that we are moving towards the vision state, but we also have clear goals to achieve during that journey. And their AI initiatives, of course, and the whole bigger vision and the goals are tightly aligned with business goals. The business goals are the main thing. And then what is interesting, this is actually Boston Consulting Group's study from last year. They have done a global study, and they say that the forerunners, so the companies that are really leveraging AI, they are getting 62% of the value from their core functions, cost reductions, revenue gains. So very basic processes. And I think this is also something that we see a lot in the organizations that we work with, that there is still a lot to be gained from really those core processes and core functions before going into really disrupting the business or sort of building something totally new, offering from the perspective. Of course, that's also what companies do, but at the same time, we see that a lot of value is actually gained from these very core functions, supply chains, order to cash, other processes. So one common challenge we also hear and see a lot, and this is also related maybe to the awareness that there's uncertainty around technology maturity. As in the beginning I was showing the graph how generative AI has just exploded in sense of business use only in a couple of years. So the technology is evolving in such a speed that it's really impossible, or at least it requires a lot of work to be up to date on everything that is happening right now. And that's also then creating the uncertainty on organizations that when is this technology mature enough that we are confident that we actually invest in it. If we don't feel that if we are unsure about that, then it might lead to the situations that we just endlessly test, but we don't really want to commit to real implementation, because we think that maybe if we now invest in production implementation with this technology, then maybe in 6 months there is other solution for this. So that's not that's wasted in investment in that sense. So there will be endless pilots, but then the hesitation to actually decide what to do next. So there might be skills in place, data and AI, somehow technology as well, but not quite sure when is this ready? How do we make sure that there's a proper return on the investment that we make? So what the forerunners do, they acknowledge that AI has been around for decades. In the Gartner's graph that I showed back to 2019, but obviously many years before that, companies have been using the traditional forms of AI. And the tech keeps evolving all the time, and now in very high speed, especially related to the large language models and generative AI solutions. So it will never be fully ready. So it's important to have a way to make the decisions whether we should build, where we should buy, or whether we should wait for something, and using the uniqueness of the business need and the value of the problem to be solved as guidelines to then make these investment decisions. And as everything is changing and developing so fast, then adaptability is a key or fundamental capability for the organization. Also being able to adapt to the change all the time, not building something in stone and then not being able to replace or change it in the coming years. So very sort of a simplified way of thinking, that thinking about the problem that you want to solve, whether it has high business value or low business value, whether it's unique business need for your organization or whether it's something common that other organizations also face. If it's very common business need and maybe the business value is not really high, then it might be advisable to wait for a common solution if such doesn't yet exist, because obviously there's a clear market for vendors and very likely something will come soon or in the future. And then if it's a high business value, and especially if it's a unique business need for your organization, then it might be advisable to invest on building your own solution for that. But sometimes also thinking that what is the actual value of this business use case, and whether we should still wait. Is it something that we need right away, or is it something that we can sort of leave for a bit later? And this is what we have been doing with one Nordic retail company. They are already very heavily data and AI driven organization, and they were forming a new very ambitious business strategy to stay ahead of the competition. So we helped them building the data and technology roadmap, that it was very tightly linked to the business ambitions. What do they want to achieve right now and then next, and then maybe what's to come in the later years, and then sort of validating and balancing what solutions should be built, what's already available on the market. If there is not solution on the market, then is this something that they should invest in building now, or waiting for something and leaving it a bit later. And it's also really important to understand that when building these sort of roadmaps, part of the adaptability is that you also regularly review and iterate your plan as the environment and then also the business evolves and changes through the years. So forerunner habit was to have a holistic capability development roadmap and then development process that is adaptable for change. So it's guiding the long-term decisions, but not blindly. So also making sure that those can be validated and addressed and changed later when there's more knowledge about the situation. So for forerunners, the AI is not just an afterthought, but it's really one of the lenses when they are designing their business strategy. Start with clear goal and then scale strategically and then nurture the adaptability. Simply put. That's it. Then Mikael.
Yes. Thank you, Minna. And Veli-Matti. Before going to the key takeaways and summarizing those, we're gonna head after that towards our question and answers section. So go ahead and post any questions you have. We'll be covering as many as we can of those later on. But before going there, let's summarize the key takeaways. You heard now through these case examples from different forerunner companies, what are the common pitfalls organizations face. There were more than 3, but we focused on especially to unrealistic expectations, gap between business and technology teams, and to the proof of concept trap. And we also walked through what the forerunner organizations do to overcome these pitfalls. But let's not go through them all now again, but let's go to the next slide where we have summarized the key approaches these forerunner companies have utilized in their AI transformation and AI projects. So firstly, iterating that they all have established clear AI transformation roadmaps with realistic high-impact transformation projects and use cases. And they have strong focus on the key business targets. So the projects are derived from those and prioritized based on that. And one we can't highlight also enough is that they all seem to have centrally led transformation and centrally supported projects in place. So some kind of a team supporting centrally that things really start to happen and you get synergies across the business units and use cases and so forth. And lastly, that also there is a technology vision. There is plan and already some kind of setup on the AI platform side of things and the capabilities side on that front, which enable faster exploration, faster AI projects. They create synergies across the different projects. And also when really going to larger scale deployments, be it on a global scale, help with the scaling of the solutions. But as Minna and Veli-Matti also mentioned, there's other pitfalls and other things to consider. Here's one visualization of a more holistic set of building blocks when it comes to these forerunning AI transformation programs. I've highlighted here on the light brown color the areas which we covered especially in the previous examples, from the training, from the really understanding where the opportunities lie and business value is achievable, to really having a roadmap in place, how to achieve that, what to do first, not only covering the opportunities, but also how the skills, organization, ways of working, the technical capabilities are built on parallel as the individual use cases to utilize AI. But as you can see, there's also many other things which need to happen. For example, there's which we touched a bit, the cross-disciplinary or fusion team AI experimentation and solution design and development, really having wide range of needed skills in place. There's the AI-assisted ways of working, how we not just build AI solutions and embed them to our business processes or take the AI tools in use, but how we change how we do, for example, digital development in our company, or how we change knowledge work, be it whatever, and teamwork in that context with the help of AI assistant and tools. And then there is the innovation side. So in addition to having the clear AI roadmap and strategy in place, also thinking how we nurture and facilitate AI-related innovation also in coming months and years. What's the way we ensure that we get new ideas, are able to validate them quickly, and then take them to our roadmap. And then I can't highlight enough also the foundational side of things. On the right-hand side of the picture, you see, for example, data foundation development. So there will be multiple use cases on AI use which can't be started yet because they are things we need to develop on data side, data quality side. So on parallel, we need to have the roadmap also how we improve our data foundation, data platforms, improve the data quality, document management in the LLM, Gen AI era as well. So how we take steps on that front to enable new AI use cases, which wouldn't be possible without that work. And all of these areas are something we have helped our customers with. And most of the topics have also been covered in some of our previous crash courses, which I referred in the beginning. Or, for example, in many of our customer presentations, recordings, which we have from, for example, from our last year's Solita Summit. Then, before starting with the questions and answers to those of you who want to know more, want to understand more, I would like to encourage you to go and read more from our How to Use AI in Business guide, which we recently published to our site, and you can find the link to that from the Documents tab of the event platform. It will include, or it includes also multiple other case examples from different companies than the ones we were able to cover in this session. And in addition, there's next session already in the calendar. So there's a deep dive session going deeper to the specific topic. And the topic in 2 weeks is how to get AI-ready data with proper data management. It's in 10th of June, so in 2 weeks. And also, you can also find a link to this event page and registration from the Documents tab of this event platform. Then, questions and answers. So shoot them in, and I'll moderate and ask all the ones we have time to answer. First, this kind of a starter question, which comes actually from myself, from me, is that how do you see, Minna and Veli-Matti, well, we have mentioned these centralized teams. Where do organizations establish those centralized teams when we talk about these forerunning AI transformation programs? Where do they put that central team, and what kind of skills and competencies, even roles, they usually have them? Is it one of a kind, or all doing that differently, or how do you see that?
Good question. I would say there are as many forms of doing it as there are companies, almost. I have seen, for example, that sometimes the organization has a ambitious initiative, for example, in improving the customer experience or sort of wanting to really bring the customer to the center of everything they do, and then they might build a dedicated team that is actually responsible also in building the capabilities to use data and use AI to help other units, other organizations to really improve their customer-related processes.
Yeah.
And that can be, for example, in the strategy unit. It can even be reporting directly to CEO. In some organizations, it can be in the digital solution, also digital organization or unit also. And sometimes the focus is not necessarily that clear, but it's more like part of the digital transformation that the organization is aiming to gain value from. And then typically that team would be in the digital organization. But in all of these cases, I think what is really crucial is that it doesn't remain only in that one silo. Obviously, there needs to be official reporting lines, but the collaboration and engagement across organization is key to success for all of these.
Yeah. What about Veli-Matti?
I think
agreeing with that?
Yeah, I think Minna put that quite well, that there is no one right answer in that, but you need to understand your organization and understand what is your goals and how that fit in there, and then start thinking about the building from there.
Yeah, I agree, and I would say that the more seriously the organization takes the AI transformation program, I would say that then it tends to be closer and closer to the CEO itself, and especially really bridging the business and the IT, the digital teams, data analytics teams, needing those all skills, but in a way, really not necessarily even an existing silo, so to say. There's a new one created to bridge the gap. Yeah. But hey, then going to the next question, or the first question from the question and answer sections. There's a question about AI implementations. So what are your insights regarding business AI implementations? Do most companies use off-the-shelf solutions, or do they develop own AI models and applications? We touched this a bit on Minna's part especially, but maybe how would you...
Yeah, I would say both. There's of course a lot of ERPs and other fundamental systems that also develop their own AI capabilities, and it doesn't of course make sense to build your own models and then sort of extract the data from the system and then process it and then feed back the results back to the system. This is also sometimes happening. I would say that this is in the organizations that are mostly like really forerunners, so there's not real solutions yet, and they have invested in bigger data science teams, so they also have resources to do this. But it doesn't mean that it's the only solution. So obviously, a lot of vendors are already implementing AI to their systems, and it should be there close to where the work is actually done, also from the user and from the data's freshness point of view. So I would say both.
And I think it might depend as well the type of AI that recent years we have talked about a lot about these LLMs and Gen AI models and these kind of things, and it seems that those are kind of, there's a lot of off-the-shelf tools in those, like co-pilots and others, but then some companies as well are investing on kind of traditional machine learning, creating predictive maintenance and these kind of things, and that is not that easy to buy from the shelf. So like Minna showed on that slide, it depends about your needs. Is it unique for your organization? Then you probably need to build that on your own. If it's this kind of, everyone use nowadays Copilot, so of course you don't build that from the scratch.
Yeah, exactly. Can relate definitely with that. The uniqueness and not necessarily that the use case is unique, but does it require your unique data? Does it need to be embedded to your unique processes? The more there is those angles, And often the more complex it is, because then it's not there is no ready solution for complex problems, sadly, then it tends to go to the build side. But definitely there's a lot of tools, there's definitely a lot of AI features and functionalities in the CRM, CRPs and so forth. So why not utilize them if they are relevant?
Yeah.
Then let's go to the next one. Do you have tips for a small company that has a data team with only one data scientist and a data engineer? How to succeed in the AI transformation? What are the most important first steps when to outsource? So having data team with data scientist and a data engineer.
Yeah, I think in this case, if you have really scarce resources, then it's even more important that you understand where the value is coming and understand what are the priorities, and you are not going that POC trap that your one data scientist is every week building different kind of test cases. But you really focused on something, this is what we want to master, and then take the one data science and put the effort on something that you really see that this is valuable track to go. So I would say that focus is pretty much one key at least in this case.
Yeah. Maybe one very practical advice comes to my mind. If you are not already doing this, then sit next to the people who are actually doing the daily work, talk to them continuously, go to lunch with them, learn what they talk about, and sort of then identify how you can help them, and then build those solutions together, validating and verifying together.
Yeah, exactly. And in a way, it's really hard to outsource business understanding or the process understanding or the product ownership of different use cases. So that you need somehow to tackle. But it's easier to outsource than when you have that idea, you have that leadership in place.
Yep.
Then the scale up of be it more the detailed design and the implementation than the leadership in a way.
Indeed.
Then next one. In a large organization, there may be several parties promoting AI without knowing about each other. How can information be shared most effectively, or should development and visions be divided into smaller parts, for example, by business area?
Yeah, I think here comes into the question the common vision and how high on the top you need to go that you find that one individual that sort of is connecting all of these different areas, and then creating the vision and making sure that it's somehow everything comes together, but then you are allowing these business units, teams to sort of develop their own, but keeping it in line with the common vision. And then also that will most likely give you the sort of the tools and means to bring people together every now and then, and sort of, well, building your AI portfolio and leading that.
Yeah, I think the collaboration, some kind of forum is good, and of course you need to understand as well, why do you build things in silos and separately? What is the things that you should build together? What is the foundation, the governance, everything that you need to agree together? And then what is in different business lines, the things that all the business lines build in their own side, because that's specific only for their side. So understanding as well the level. But some kind of communication is needed both from the top level, so there needs to be vision and strategy, where we are going, what is the common thing, and as well on the bottom layer, the grass layer, how these individual data scientists communicate with each other, share knowledge, share understanding and best practices. So 2 layers.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Then moving on to the next one. How do you ensure the security of the sensitive data in AI systems which they interact with, especially when AI agents have access to enterprise systems? What are other security issues which are important to take into account? I think we would need an architect here, but let's
touch
on it.
This is really big topic, and again, we can talk about a lot of different kind of AI systems and these kind of things. But the first thing is to understand like what you are trying to do, why do you have these agents, and then what is critical data, what is non-critical data, what is the security levels of different data, and where the agents and these kind of things need to get access. Basically everything can be built in really closed, like off the grid. You can build these systems in that way as well. But of course that requires a lot more investments if you want to create it like full blast security first thing. So you need to understand like what is the level that you want to reach, how much you want to invest, what is worth, and overall, is this even wise to do? So it is a huge topic.
Kind of what is the value to business and what is the cost then, and so does it make sense?
Yeah, and basically when you have this kind of a business critical systems on top of which you have AI agents, then kind of roughly the rule is that you need to then enforce the same access privileges to that AI agents end users, like so that the end user is identified and then we like respect the accesses that user has, even though the agent as a technical solutions has access to much wider set of data. And it's related to the other question. There was a question that do you see privacy issues with the LLMs available in the market at the moment? I can actually start answering that first myself. Is that yes, we do. There are so many LLMs out there and so many different players providing those LLMs. It comes down to the fact that you really need to have that collaboration with your IT analytics data teams to understand what are the ones safe to use. They are the cloud vendors having their own LLM services and environments with the same security levels and like data not leaking type of setups as for any data analytics solutions. But that being said, there are many other players out there as well. Startups building their own LLM models and applications, and there it needs like even more focus that how do they utilize your data which you input there and so forth.
I think that's put it quite well. So the AI is not the problem, but the providers and how they use it, and you can take the AI and build it really safe, and there is a lot of different kind of mechanisms for that. But of course, you need to really understand what you are doing and what tools you are using and what is safe and what is not safe. It is not that easy to get on top of all of this, but of course, discussing with IT and the security persons, they usually know quite a lot about this.
Exactly. Hey, maybe one more still. There's a question about how to convince management to invest in the foundations or fundamentals needed in this journey.
By educating them. I would say that of course management and in general it's a wise advice to focus first on the business value, because if there is no business value, then why would you invest in anything? But then connecting that to what actually needs to be true in order to gain that business value, and that's where your fundamentals also come into play. But trying to keep always the eye on the business value side. So even when you are building something very technical or something very fundamental like data governance, you still need to keep in mind that focus on the things that will enable eventually the business value to become real.
Yeah. Exactly. And there, like in a way, once you have that business buy-in for the use case or problem solution, then it's easier then to explain through that okay, quick step, quick MVP takes something, but we need to remember there's like sometimes we can't do even that before we do some things in the data platform side, improve the data quality or whatever is the potential issue in the foundation.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of negotiating that, of course, you don't want to build the enabler too good invest too much. But on the other hand, you don't want to have too shady underlying there. So it's kind of negotiating what is the value that is created and how well you need to build the base in order that you hold on your business.
Exactly. Hey, we're starting to be at the end of our time. There was one at least question related to data quality. To that, I would say that we have the deep dive in 2 weeks, so maybe we'll cover that there more thoroughly. Now it's time to start to wrap up.